Okay, friends and neighbors, I know the lawn's on fire and all that kind of stuff, and you're upset, and that's going to be okay. Dan and I kind of are too. Welcome back to RGR. I'm Ryan. This is me going rogue with Dan to keep me from losing my mind. Just finished the Locked On Chiefs podcast, and quite frankly, it only made me more mad. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, I'm just starting to come down off my adrenaline rush there because we needed that one apparently. So it's there's a lot to go into.
Yeah, there's questions everywhere. We're going to cover them for you, folks. If you missed our last stream, you missed Aaron being on. You're going to see more of that in the members area. And if you want to be a member, that's how you can get the inside thing. This is a family-friendly channel. So tonight, Monday nights, all nights, out here in the public realm, we're going to be family-friendly, and you're not going to hear us do anything outlandish. If you want to hear the real gist, we do that behind closed doors in the members area, and that's really what it's for, and to keep them from taking down the channel. So that's our goal. And there's plenty to complain about tonight. It looks like Mr. Brett Holloway, I missed your flag, but I'm going to find it right here because we have a new member already.
All right.
And cheers to you. I appreciate that.
Hello. Thank you.
Now, folks, we're going to go over our notes, our take on the game. Q&A is tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Arrowhead time, and then we just hit your questions all night long. But tonight, there's just too much information to go over, so we're going to run through this back and forth, try to get you as much as possible. Make sure you check out for Jeff doing the stats breakdown, for Aaron doing all the mods. I believe he is here, our fearless moderator, and you'll see more of him in the future. Dan, my cohort, Danilo, who does all the tailgate stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed that too. We have all kinds of stuff, and everything culminated in this game that, quite frankly, the score wasn't very far from what I had predicted. I was off by 7 points on the Raiders score.
Yeah.
But good Lord, this game was a lot tighter than I expected it to be.
Yeah, that it really just goes to show you that the Raiders are legit. Like, this is not a team that you can anymore look over as a Chiefs team. Like, you can't just say, oh, the Raiders are there and they're just kind of there. They're always going to bring it. And the one thing that they're going to continue to do is be physical with the Chiefs. They out-physicaled them again in both aspects, on the offensive line for the Raiders and the defensive line, continuing to get after Mahomes and really shutting down any single attempt at a pass rush for the Chiefs. They had zero legitimate threat in this game and from the pass rush, and that's really concerning considering how much money they have tied up in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty terrible. And Maximo, thank you for your super chat, folks. If you don't want to be a member, no big deal. You want to support us some other way, the super chats and super stickers, you can do that. Thank you, Maximo, and thank you, Wolverine. Appreciate it. And
Thank you.
We're going to get right into that because you guys know I watch defense first. It's what I played back in the day, other than a little bit of fullback, and so like my eye goes to that. And I was confounded. I got hit on Twitter, and maybe you're in the chat, I don't know, by one guy in particular who just wanted to tell me how terrible they were when I'm the one screaming about how terrible they are. I don't know what happened. Like, the bus broke down and the defense didn't get off of it. Like, the defensive line, the unit didn't show up until the fourth quarter.
Even then, that's suspect. Like, they were still blitzing and at the crap ton out of Derek Carr in the fourth quarter because they knew they had to. They couldn't get any pressure with the front four. And I don't know what's going on. I know that Rodney Hudson's an exceptionally great center, but come on, Chris Jones needs to do a better job of getting pressure. He didn't do anything in this game except for false starts.
I mean, I'll give him credit. He jumped that one real close. That was barely.
It was close.
Barely, but then he lined up offsides.
Yeah.
That's a D forward move. That ain't okay. I mean, it's too far gone for that. And quite frankly, too little, too late. This defensive front is getting what? 2 guys at $20 million a year. They need to do better. I thought that they were going to come back from this bye, having been rested, having gotten their act together, and really be dominant. And I didn't see that in any way, shape, or form tonight.
No, there wasn't anything. And the biggest thing for me is that Frank Clark was a little bit too busy later in the game trying to make plays on Derek Carr, getting upfield and allowing Colton Miller to just throw him to the side and not have to worry about him in the run game. And you had Josh Jacobs running all over the side in these huge gaps they're creating because they're trying to get after Derek Carr, and they're too busy not really paying attention to their responsibilities in the run game because the Raiders do an exceptional job of using a bunch of tight end sets. They use their fullback extremely well because they can play a lot of base personnel on their offense and still run four verticals essentially and still attack deep down the field with the weapons you have, so that it's not easy to figure out if they're going to run the football, if they're going to pass it based on the formation, because they're so good and so multiple in that respect. And when you see guys just getting upfield on these run fits, it's just not going to help do anything. One, it's going to slow down your pass rush because now you're going to worry about the run again, and it's going to allow them to get, more yards upfield on the run. So it's frustrating, and I know they're frustrated, but at the same time, you want to take that frustration out and actually do something, and they couldn't really do anything in this game.
Yeah, it was pulling your hair out kind of territory for me. And I will tell you this. I told you guys preseason, I told you last week, I told you after they lost the first time when they met, the Raiders are a good team. They're much improved. All credit to them. I got a ton of static from Raiders fan about the disrespect. Well, okay, maybe even I didn't give them enough respect because they came out, and I think Gruden just has Spag's number because I thought the adjustments were slow. I thought the personnel decisions were bad. Juan Thornhill needs to play every dang snap. I understand you're trying to ease him along, but it's not enough. It bothers me that LJ Sneed, who you guys know he's my guy, that's fine. But when the rookie has to get in your face to get you going, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
More power to him, but that is a problem for that roster. And we don't know the details. I wish we did. We'll see that. We'll find out eventually, or maybe LJ will come on. I don't know. I'm going to keep working on that because I think I got a line there. But I want to know what happened, because it looked like Chris Jones. It didn't look like to me like Chris Jones was confronting him. It looked like he was trying to calm him down, because, hey, when you call the truth out to the truth, that's the problem, because the linebackers didn't play well. The front wasn't getting it. The safeties were not doing their jobs. More power to Dan Sorensen. I swear to God, the guy makes a play all the time, but he lays down 18 missed tackles before that. It drives me nuts. And Dan, I hope you watch this. I respect what you do, because you come back from more mistakes than any player I've ever watched in my life.
He's got the mindset you need to play defense. He doesn't care when he makes a mistake. He's like, all right, whatever, it's gone, it's over.
Yep.
So my whole thing, Darren Waller is a top 3 tight end in the NFL. He's top 3. Put somebody on him at all times. I don't care if you're playing zone. I don't care if you're playing man. Double in man if you have to. I don't care. I don't want someone on him at all times. You can't have him walking in the end zone uncovered. You can't have him walking down the middle of the field up the sideline with nobody on him and trailing. You can't have that happen at all. That's the most frustrating thing I have ever seen. And it just comes down to people all forgetting their assignments. Not one person on that defense played a mistake-free game. Everyone had screw-ups. Everyone.
Yeah. I mean, and it's waiting on somebody else to make a play. That's got to end. You can't rely. I mean, credit to them. They got their spine up in the fourth quarter when they had to.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to. Championship teams dominate when they can. This team doesn't yet. And they've had changes, especially on the defensive side. They have new players. They have rookies. They have the whole 9 yards. This isn't the 85 Bears. I don't think the 85 Bears will happen again. But you have to get to the point where you smash teams you should be smashing. And even though the Raiders are much improved, this shouldn't have been this close. And Jason, you have a very good point. And it's something that stands out on film to us when we watch, that we don't bring up that often because of the splash plays that Chris Jones always makes. But you do see backside pursuit for him is not a priority.
Yeah, and excuse me, to some degree, I can understand that when you just don't have the speed necessarily to catch up to some of the quarterbacks. If they're a little bit too far away, I can understand. But you got guys like Tershawn Wharton and even Derek Nottie. When they get a line, they're running after the quarterback. It feels like that Chris does take some of those pursuit angles off, and whether that's a want to thing or a not want to thing, I guess. I don't know. We don't really know, or if it's him just trying to preserve himself from more pass rush, which I can understand. That's something that we're never going to find out. He's never going to say anything about it. So it'll be more speculation than anything. But the pass rush is clearly a problem, and I pointed it out a few weeks ago on Twitter that they're really good pass defense. They're a good pass defense. And when you can generate some pressure, they'll make themselves even better. But when you have an offense that doesn't have to work hard. That doesn't have to. That's Derek Carr's getting 4 seconds to sit in the pocket and go through his reads. Guess what? He's going to find somebody open.
Yeah. Any solid quarterback will. And Jason, thanks for the super chat and for bringing that up. I don't want to harp on the negatives too much in specific players. Overall, you see that in a number of different ways across the defense. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, what stood out to me, and I wrote it twice here in my notes, and that's why I know it stood out to me. Nipper Girl, thank you. All you members for making comments. Really appreciate that. And Just Driving, I'm going to get to you in just a second. What stands out to me is the stars we're not putting out tonight. Tyrann Mathieu had maybe his worst game as a Chief.
I would agree with that.
I didn't see Frank do enough. Chris made a couple of splash plays. He did get that fumble out, and Willie almost got that. I was happy with that. But at the end of the day, it's too little, too late. It's not enough. You have to do more. And you have to play like you're not the champs. You have to play like anybody can take it from you because everybody wants to take it from you.
Yep. Exactly. And then it still feels like that's not ingrained in their head. Like it feels like they're still trying to play catch up like they're the Chiefs before they won the Super Bowl. Like I can understand a little bit of hangover, but at the same time, we kind of need to take a step back. They're 9-1. Like they've gotten to this point that regardless of how they've gotten to it, they've still managed to find some scrappy ways to win. But when it comes down to it, when you're playing a team that's much better than the Raiders, this game does not turn out like this. Even with the offense clicking on pretty much all cylinders for most of the night, they had a lot of things going the way they wanted to go. And let's just take a quick detour because Travis Kelce is on pace to have one of the greatest seasons of a tight end has ever had.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. I mean, there's no more talk about him putting himself in the conversation with Tony. Tony's a Hall of Famer. He's got the most receptions. They showed the graphic tonight that Witten's chasing him a little bit, right? Travis is right there. He's the second best right now ever in the history of this organization. And in my book, in the history of the league, you can say whatever you want. Tony's number one. No disrespect for Antonio Gates because the man played until he was 67 years old. But, I mean, that is a credit.
Tony.
Exactly. And Travis is coming on. And Jay Elder, welcome to the memberships. Appreciate all you guys joining the memberships. Just so you know, in a couple of minutes, we're only going about 20 tonight. I'm going to be on the national show for Locked On NFL this week. You'll hear me tomorrow. I'm going to do a stint with them here, but it's kind of a hard out. So we're going to try to hit that. So I want to hit Just Driving because he thankfully did the super chat. We very much appreciate that. And I know I have another couple others, but I want to shout you guys out. AFC or NFC, if not the number one seed with the bye, it doesn't matter what's the name of the quarterback is. It's tough to get to the Super Bowl. You're very right. More power to the Saints in making their adaptation and getting to the Taysom Hill era. Drew will be back. And I called Chiefs Saints as the Super Bowl matchup this year preseason. I think that's the way that it's boiling down here. No disrespect to the Steelers. I'm not trying to throw other fandoms under the bus. I was pretty pleased with the number of Raiders fans that came here and were fairly respectful and actually made football arguments rather than just talking trash. The Steelers are a good team too. There are teams in the NFC that are good teams too, but at the end of the day, it is about the quarterback. That's the thing that sets you apart. I really do see that coming. Thank you for the super chat. Robert, you're right. El Bell, Lev got some work in here. Couple of things to address because I saw him in the comments. Breland got exposed because they didn't let him jam.
Yeah.
Breland doesn't have the long speed to keep up with Aguilar. And certainly, I mean, honestly, between you and me, Dad, are you surprised that Ruggs didn't have a much bigger role?
Yeah, 100%. That you got two guys on the outside who can't keep up with Ruggs yet, and they're not pressing him. Like, they're not jamming him at the line. Let him go.
Yeah.
You can tell that Terran's having a bad night in terms of reading, developing, being on the field. He looks like he's a little bit maybe sick or something. I don't know what happened. He was not himself. And I'm very surprised that for the majority of the game, they kept the top on. Derek Carr had, I think, was 2 of 3 for his deep shots, 20 yards down the field. That's particularly good considering they probably should have had much more in terms of getting him deep down the field.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. Like, it could have been a lot worse. So Breland got exposed. Folks, I don't think there's anything wrong with McCole Hardman. I think he just got activated off of COVID. I think he's still feeling the effects. He's like trying to get his energy up. He was like the the fire alarm, the fire hose on the hallway, right? Like break glass if you absolutely have to, and they absolutely had to. He made a play for them down the stretch. I was really happy to see that. Still not happy with Ward at this point. Ward can sit for all I care. I want Snead in there every down, and I want Fenton in the nickel, and that's as far as I'm going to go with it.
As long as if they got Thornhill being a situational player, then I guess that means Snead's going to be a safety.
Don't even start. No. I don't know. That's got to be a 1 week aberration. I don't know what else to call it. Lucky Croc, you're absolutely right. That was hilarious. And if they have more walrus calls, I want to know what that is. And I got to tell you, I tweeted it out, and I'll say this, whether it's the walrus call or anything else. When Derek Carr walks up to the line of scrimmage and tells you we're good, you got to change something.
Yep.
And that's on Anthony Hitchens. I don't care. You have got to go change something.
Too many times he walks up there. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. And the defense just stands there.
No. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they reset. They take timeouts, and you come back in the same set. You don't change anything. Part of that's on the coaching, but part of that is on the guy calling the plays on the field. That's got to improve as well. A couple more super chats we have to get to. Mr. Gooch, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Hey, Mahomes did go rogue, and I like that. I've been working this weekend with a little extra time on some new gear for you, and it's going to be for you rogues, and especially for all of you that like a little bit different kind of stuff that's a little more me, if you know what I mean. So you'll see some of that pretty soon. Members, you'll get a glance at it pretty quick. In fact, members, if you're in here tonight, I don't have a chance to shout you all out because we're running short on time, but let me know. I'm thinking the members only stream is going to be Tuesday night, Tuesday or Wednesday. It's up to you guys. I'll try to do whenever you can. For all 600 of you that are in the chat now, let me know what you think about what day works best. For you members, I will try to aim it at you. Kyle, you can't do the Monday Q&A, but judging by how he's the last drive look, do you think that Andy and Spags sometimes aren't calling games at full throttle? That's Andy's MO. Spags usually isn't. I think Spags actually came up against a coach that knows him well enough to be a problem tonight.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot to do with the personnel as well, because you don't know what they're going to do, and Spags kind of has to guess at times what they're going to do. They got the fullback. They try to get him involved a lot, really. So they can do a lot of different things with their personnel, and that I think that kind of throws Spags through a loop, because he's got to keep his base out there, or he's trying to throw nickel out there. He's trying to figure out what he needs to get out there to defend a vertical passing route with 3 tight ends and a fullback on the field.
Yeah, it's tough. And this is not a Sutton situation, folks.
No.
The fire Spags phenomenon, I ain't feeling it.
What?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
You didn't pay attention to that? Do not look in my mentions from tonight. I swear. No, fire Spags is not a thing, folks.
No.
Yes, he faced a guy that knows him pretty well and got the better of him, I think, tonight, personally. Yeah. Spags is not the problem. Players have to execute. And yes, he did. He was slow, in my opinion, in making some adjustments, but the players have to play. And so it is not fire Spags time. This is not Bob Sutton part 2. I guarantee you. Scott Rowland, I hope Veach starts investing in the defense in the draft, because it looks like we need it. Absolutely. That's what he did with LJ. That's what he did with Willie Gay. They're bringing them along. They're going to get there. Yes, they have more to do, but yeah, the next defensive picks for the next couple of years are going to be key, because, man, the cap's going down to 175, if not a little bit lower next year, folks. This is going to be tough. We're talking penny pinching. Info. Tony been disrespected too long. Hey, let's not I'm not going to say what I was going to say. This is why we have members chats. Let's not disparage Trent Green, okay? He did have a quarterback that was very good, but he was not as good as Mahomes. I agree with you, Info. You are the man, and thank you for the super chat. All you members, I apologize for not getting to you on everything tonight because we are so rushed. But Dan, at the end of the day, I think this is a lesson learned for them, and I think it comes down to the leadership in the locker room that has to step it up and take away what they're doing here.
Yeah, the problem for me is if you have a lesson to be learned after a bye, that creates some issues. It feels like, again, you're not prepared for a game. You come out up on the scoreboard because Patrick Mahomes, again, puts you on his back and leads you down the field and scores a touchdown. But again, you came out of a bye, and the defense was completely unprepared for this game.
Yeah. Couple of new additions coming. DeAndre Baker, we're going to talk a lot about that coming up. Wiz is back. Now, Wiz had a pec tear early in the season. He played one game for the Steelers. So we can't say that he's going to be 100%. Don't be too much in a rush to get Wiz back on the field. It's going to be taking a little bit of time, but he's going to get there. But that's it for tonight. That's all I can stomach right now. Q&A tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Arrowhead time. Dan won't be here, at least not for the first half. Maybe he'll be here later. I will be here. I will tell you what I think. But thank you all for your patience. I know it's late. 650 people in here. Dan, I know you're tired. I know the baby's going to get up early, so thank you.
Okay. No problem. I'm not sleeping anyway. What does it matter?
And at the end of the day, folks, sleep well. It's another W.
Yep,
this season goes on. This is the most messed up season I've ever seen.
And
the Chiefs are persevering. Exactly. That's what you should take to the bank and take to work tomorrow. I hope that you guys all have a good day. Stay safe out there with the COVID stuff and all the rest of it. We'll be back with you tomorrow.